Muscle Nomads episodes, God knows which one.
The return. Let's
The
just call it the
return.
return.
Right.
The return of the Nomads.
Last one was over for 6 months ago, I think.
Ultra consistent.
Yeah, right. You've been very busy, man.
It's been busy, but now I've managed to switch my days off. So hopefully now that allows us to have both days where we're both available to do things. So
yeah, now you get your Mondays off. It's like right. It's very, very rare to have your Mondays off, but maybe it's better.
Yeah, I used to have Mondays and Tuesdays off. That used to be my weekend when I was a teacher. But when I switched over to a normal sort of job, then it was just Saturdays and Sundays. But the missus still has Mondays off.
Okay.
So we haven't had the same day off together in
really
almost 2 years. So we get our evenings, and but it's usually by the time we both get home, finish work, and I'm finished with meal prep and whatever else and eating and stuff. And she's finished with work phone calls. We've got like an hour together most nights where we just kind of sit there, little bit of a chat and catch up on the sofa, and then we get ready to go to bed.
Right.
So every now and then we'll get lucky with like a public holiday or something like that where we have the same day off. But for the most of the time, we don't have the same days off. So after the shows last weekend, my boss, I guess, one of the directors of the gym came over to watch the show as well, and he was on cloud nine, all excited and all pumped up after watching the show. So while I had him in a good mood, and I had the wife there as well with me, we tag teamed him.
You twisted his arm. I'm gonna need this Monday off. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna. So we were just wondering, like, a little bit of a sob story, and then he was like, "Really, you don't have any time off together?" And we were like, "Well, no, it doesn't. Our schedules don't work like that." So he's like, "Forget about it. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it happen. You can have Mondays off."
Perfect.
So
yeah, but it's much better, much better,
way better. And I also get out of every Monday they have this big. No one's allowed Mondays off, because every Monday is the big like company meeting where they talk about targets and sales and blah, 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 and all the stuff that does not concern me whatsoever. So I sit in this 2-hour meeting just on my laptop making like diet plans and stuff for people. I'm not even paying attention to the meeting. So it's a total waste of my time.
But is it all in Chinese? And then you're like, with half an ear, you're like,
Yeah. Exactly. It's all in Chinese, so I can understand maybe half of what they're saying, because it's all like high level, very fast meeting talk. It's difficult to follow, so it's just a waste of my time. So now I've got those days off, so it's good.
Perfect. So no more bad case of the Mondays for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mondays is now a cool day.
How much weight did you gain after the show?
I lost weight.
Why? What happened? Guide us through the process. Everybody wants to know. I've been getting a gazillion DMs like, what the fuck happened to Aaron? Why is he so big? How come he gained 10 kilos of stage weight? So,
gained 10 kilos of stage weight. I was on stage at, I think it was 107.8, something like that. And I think the day after the show, I weighed exactly the same. And the day after that, I think, bloody cat, go away.
Too much pussy on the street.
Yeah, that cat's pissed me off today. He clawed me right in the face and freaking almost cut my nose off.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, so, I think the highest I went up was like 2 kilos over my stage weight. And then pretty much straight back down. I think I was at 108 when I got back to Gina, and when I got back home, 108 point something. And then we started the fast. Yeah. 3.5 day fast. Finished that fast at 104.4 or 5.
Yeah, you were skinny. No, not
like
really,
skinny bastard.
You lost quite a lot of weight. Yeah.
Yeah. So skinny down a little bit, but still look good, super lean, nice and sharp. My hamstrings and were popping a bit. We got rid
Yeah.
of a little bit more baby fat off the glutes, a little bit better than they were before. That's going to keep chipping away at that thick skin and baby fat. So
Yeah, we
the
have
goal
to.
of the fast was good.
Yeah, we have to suffer you down now a little bit because your legs were not 100% in shape. Like for the audience, like through the coaching process, we're in contact daily, right, on a daily basis. And at one point during your prep, what was it, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, your legs start flattening out tremendously. Remember?
Yeah, some
And
good old little flamingo legs.
yeah, so and so they were getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and we do carb loads, and it fill back out, but then we get smaller. So we decided to pull the cardio, right? Because again, you want your legs as full as possible on a stage with a lot of Asians with giant thunder thighs. So we pulled the cardio 3 weeks out, which results in a little bit less fat loss. But now we got more time for the next show, so now we can push it again, and then hopefully cut it out the cardio, let's say 3 weeks before, and then you should already be in good shape 3 weeks before the show. Right. So this time we were a little bit behind, but like for phenomenal conditioning. But shit, it's your third show. I think a lot of people
way better than the shows previous. Like
yeah.
We were probably a little behind what we had in mind as far as probably mostly just I think a bit lower body.
Yeah, because
lower back, lower body.
Yeah, upper body was in shape, so it's just the lower body with a little bit of stubborn fat, and
way ahead of where we were before, but a little bit behind of, I guess, what our goals were for this show.
Yeah,
but just at that stage,
right? And so we just need another prep, and then I think next prep you'll nail it. I just got to grind through it. But I think if we continue like what we discussed off air, is if you were to continue with that cardio, you would have been leaner, but your legs would probably be impossible to fill out because they'd be so depleted and stringy, and then they would maybe lose another inch, and that would be a dramatic change, because then it would have been like, oh, your upper body overpowers the legs, and now it was better balanced, right? We didn't have that. We didn't get the feedback. Didn't get the feedback that your lower body was undersized. It just needs to be bigger to match the upper body. So
so from the front, the most of the judges' feedback was just like, look, if you're on stage against someone like Luli, who's the guy who won it, if you're on stage against someone like that, everyone's legs are going to look small compared to that guy's legs. Yeah. The guys just giant quads, like not much in the adductors, but huge quads, and from the back, his hamstrings and his glutes look very, very good. So he's got pretty well developed legs. And, that's something that you come across a lot with Chinese guys. They have very, very good leg genetics. And but the judges, they just said everyone's legs are going to look small against this guy. But you got to be a bit drier, especially from the back. Hamstrings and glutes, a little bit drier, a bit tighter. And that would have helped out a lot. But apart from that, the feedback was good. They said upper body, chiseled. They said you're shredded, no problem there. For the second show, the first show, I think we're a little bit softer. It's weird. In some pictures, I look rock hard and shredded, and in some pictures, a little bit softer. So it's hard to say, tell, right? I think all in all, as the upper body for both shows, everyone was impressed and had no issues to say whatsoever. It was pretty much the same judges' feedback from both shows is, your legs could be a little bit bigger and a little bit drier.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of continuing to diet and just make sure you don't flatten out. So we'll make some changes to the protocol, and then so your estrogen is going to be low for quite some time, which is going to suck. That sometimes is required. Yeah,
crushed estrogen,
right?
Shredded glutes.
We will make sure that it's not crushed too long, so we don't get to a state where you start tearing tendons and stuff,
or crying at like rom-com movies.
Right?
No, that's when the other way around.
That's when it's way too high. Yeah, that's when it's way too.
That's when it's too high.
You can cry in the cardio machine. That's okay, and that's part of prep.
I cry every time I open up a Tupperware full of tilapia. Just one little tilapia tear.
Yeah.
6 times a day.
Yeah, it's nasty, man, but it does help.
Does
It
the
does
job.
help. Yeah, it does the job, you know. So, well, we did your blood work. It's actually pretty okay.
Yeah.
It's surprising, but it's still
Yeah. At
good.
the end of pretty brutal, longest prep we've done,
Uh huh.
you know, I wouldn't say it was crazy harsh or anything like that. We didn't push any really extreme limits as far as jobs were
No.
concerned. Like nothing out the normal, the normal bag of tools that most people would use.
Mm-hmm.
But, all considering and the way I was feeling, I was expecting like,
Yeah, you felt pretty
yeah,
death, no, at the end.
I was feeling rough.
Yeah.
But I think it was just, a new feeling that I'm not used to or hadn't experienced before. So
Yeah,
it always feels worse the first time, right?
yeah, it's a super draw and halo testing combo, and then trying to crush your estrogen. It's just you just feel like shit, and then especially when you're low body fat, right, and then have
Yeah.
to deplete for the last couple of days. But I think the next time, we'll probably do something similar, but your estrogen will be lower getting into it because we'll take the test out going forward.
Yeah.
And then just get your skin, we'll remove a little bit of the collagen synthesis in the skin through the estrogen pathway. And then just only, right, the DHT derivatives, basically. All right. So it's, we'll give that a try for a while and push the cardio, but you'll power through. You'll power through.
Just grind on through it. I'm already, it's the good thing about just kind of continuing with a couple of good practice shows like this is not only it gives us a chance to try these new things and new methods and a couple of new approaches, so we've got more tools to play with.
Right.
But after the first two, back-to-back shows, for anyone who doesn't know, it was July 3rd and the 4th, 2 shows, 2 days, 2 very different looks, but overall 2 very improved, very, very improved looks, 20 plus pounds heavier than
but because
previous shows. But after that, like, I just felt like I was pretty happy with the result, especially from the big show, the big DMS show on the Sunday. That one's a bit more, a pretty big respected show. So I was happy with that result. So now I've got a bit of like mental momentum. I still feel fucked all the time, but I've got that mental momentum and I know that from one show to the next, I improved. So let's try and keep that momentum going, just try a couple of new things, see what happens. And it's all just moving forward towards the big show at the end of the year in October.
Yeah,
where we'll know enough to bring, the best package we've got this year.
It's surprising because you loaded a tremendous amount of food, way more than the previous 2 shows. And it took 5 days to fill you out. So I think the next proper show we do, because we're going to do a couple practice runs. Right? This weekend there's a show, 2 weekends later there's a show, but you're not peaking for those shows. So we have 2 more shows to peak for and a couple practice runs, but we're really gonna have to feed you, properly, because this one you were 850 carbs for 3 days, and then a whole day of
what
fat
did we
loading.
do? We did. Was it 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days of carb loading. So
3 days. 3 days at 850. Then a fat. Yeah, it was 3 days at 850 carbs. And a fat load day with a bloody gallon of peanut butter or something, whatever it was by the end of the day, which worked a treat. I guess we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And yeah, we still ended up being able to push a shitload more for the next day. So
yeah, no, because we had a little bit of a shitload after the first day of competing, right? A super big dinner and then a huge breakfast, and that really did the trick. It's always tricky because the second show you did, you spilled over a little bit, right? We pushed a little bit too far. And then this one, you were only on the last show, you were blasting full. And I think you could have even had more. So it's really a bit of a balancing act. Because the last thing I went to push over the edge and then you're spilled for 2 days with no way to rectify it. But I'm sure next time
I would have much rather have been, a little bit flat and just at least looking really good and shredded on stage.
Yeah, right.
And knowing we had space to fill. I'd much rather that be the outcome than just push too far and spill over and just look soft and.
I think next show you can do like 1,000 carbs, maybe 1,100. every day for 3 days, and then a fat load, and then super breakfast with some insulin, and then load up that way.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be. We can just push it a little bit more each time, and just gauge it and see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I'm just happy we didn't push too far and spill over too much. I was like the night before, I ate a good amount, but I was being a little bit careful.
You mean from the first show to the next show?
Yeah, after the first show to the next show. So I had a good selection, but I think you said take some fries home with you and smash some fries when you get home as well. So I think like I was a little bit holding off, whereas
because the
problem than I do how much I can push it. Yeah. So it was nice just to know. All right, I've got the tick and the go ahead and the thumbs up. Let's smash an extra portion. And the same with breakfast as well, and it worked out great, So
it's so hard to gauge because like there's one mistake and you fuck it all up, right? And we had a little bit of an issue loading the first 2 days because we switched from fish to beef and chicken.
Oh yeah,
right. And it's very common to switch to beef at the end because you get a little bit fuller that way, and then you started getting very watery. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Right, so we had to switch back to fish, and your blood sugar was in range, and your electrolyte was fine, and right. So it was purely just changing the food sources, and it's such a weird response. So we had to play a little bit of catch up there. Of course, we in the end it all played out, but it's a lot to learn. We learned a lot this last. And you haven't stepped on stage for what, a year?
December 2019.
Oh fuck! So that's 1.5 years. Yeah.
Long time. And that second show, that December show, is a write-off because it was, when we started working together was June or July 2019.
Yeah.
And that's straight into a prep. And then the first show was September 2019. Yeah. Which I was looking back on those pictures again, and I was thinking, I remember when I thought I looked the dog's bollocks. Oh my God, I never thought I could get into this shape.
All right.
I was thinking, I look awesome. And then I was looking at those pictures again the other day, like just having a little giggle to myself, like, yes.
But that's how it should be, right? When in the moment you're happy, but then a year later you're like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm way bigger, better, and more shredded now. It's all a progression. Like for you, it's been bodybuilding for what, 2.5 years now?
Pretty much just like full-time bodybuilding for that whole time, just in the zone, and just like I had to work it around work for the first up until 2020 June is when I switched over to the gym, and where they were kind of paying me to be a bodybuilder. So that was the big switch over. That was when I was really able to filter out a lot of other commitments,
nonsense,
work commitments and things,
distractions
and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, I was still pretty much full time into it the whole time before that, but just having to work an extra job as well.
Yeah.
The progress has been awesome and absolutely amazing in that space of time, because we didn't start the off season until when was it? April or May?
Something like that.
May. I think it was May 2020 when I started getting use of February, March, April. Because I remember earlier, April. Right? I remember in April I was using my buddy's office gym, shitty little office gym, just to get a few little workouts in and just to pump some blood around the body. But the actual gyms didn't open until I think a month later, and that's when we actually managed to start a real off season. So what time is that?
No, a couple months. Much. No, a couple months. You did a lot of growing into the show. We kept it very clean.
So we had 8 or 9 months to grow. 8 or 9 months off season.
And we didn't do anything crazy during your off season. So we did your blood work, and I initially told you, okay, we need to cruise for a while. Remember? And we got your blood work back. I'm like, everything is perfect. All right,
let's go.
We go straight into prep. Right. So yeah, why not? I mean, the blood work shows that it didn't really have a negative effect on your health, so we just continued. Right.
Well, it's just that whole sort of less is more approach in the off season, and just
Yeah.
focusing more on food and training was the trick. That we
Mhm.
didn't have to push anything too hard for blood work to get that far out of range.
No.
And then you don't need that period where you've got to recover because
No,
you're
and
already in a good starting place to start prep. Well, I
right, and
was
I've
anyway. Lucky for me.
no, right, but it's just like living a full time bodybuilder and just doing everything you can besides the steroids and the PEDs, right? The meals and
Yeah,
the micros and all the stuff that I always talk about. You just if you put everything in place, you don't need so much of the stuff that over time makes you unhealthy, right? So you can run a lower dose for a longer period of time and just stay in a good state of health. And even now, after this show, right, 3.5 day fast or a 4 day fast, and the blood work is still acceptable enough to keep going, right? Most of the stuff we can rectify, and we just keep trucking along. Of course, after the October show, there will be some downtime, but then I think
yeah.
you're mentally ready to clock out anyway. That's 3 shows,
After
three big
October,
shows.
yeah. So
Yeah.
probably do first official
Hmm.
PCT, I guess.
No,
Like
no,
full
no, no.
length, full
Probably
length
not.
one.
You probably just need to cruise for a while, and then it's holiday season, and you just cruise for a while, and
Uh,
then when your blood work
I'm
is
gonna, I'm
good, we
gonna,
go back
I'm
into the
gonna,
off season. 130,
I'm gonna
130
completely.
kilos.
I'm gonna do I'll do a Kevin Aroni. I'll completely come off, get fat,
Uh huh.
take 6 months off eating pizza, drinking vodka, and then have an amazing comeback in three
Do like
months
me.
and look.
You shrink like 25 kilos, and then you rebound, right? But there's still something left.
Boom!
So boom.
Still some
So
peaks there.
so
Still got
still so,
lats. You can still glide.
yeah. I'm surprised. It's so weird. I thought I would like completely disintegrate, but I'm actually getting stronger now.
Well, it's not new muscle. Your
No,
muscle
I'm
is
just
been built
maintaining.
for such a long time.
Yeah.
There's a level of muscle maturity and density there
Hmm.
that's you're never ever again gonna look like you've never worked out. Do you know what I
But
mean? You're never
so
gonna get
what's even
as
weirder, right? So sometimes these pros they stop training and they come off and then they look like a bag of like smashed assholes. But
yeah.
I don't understand why because I just kept training and I still look and fit out clothes and look like a bodybuilder. I get a good pump. I get Derek's pre
It's a type of.
workouts.
I think that's
Yeah.
down to the type of training. I think that's. Well, I think you see that more from bodybuilders that got good and big in a very
Mhm.
short amount of time
Yeah.
and responded well to a lot of drugs and a lot of high volume training.
Yeah. Hmm.
No intensity training, no
Pumped.
like
Right.
rep sets to failure and stuff over a long period of time where
Yeah.
you build a different. I think that builds a very different kind of muscle that lasts a lot longer.
No, I
Um,
agree. I agree.
Because if you look at someone like Dorian Yates now, who just spends his days doing yoga and banded
We're still
stretches and stuff
dense.
like that, he still looks pretty thick and strong. Like I saw him doing some banded pullovers on Instagram or something today,
Hmm.
and you see his hamstrings and his legs from the side, and you can see like the lats there, and there's still some good quality dense muscle that I don't think you'll really lose because it's just takes so much longer and such a different way to build that muscle, but it's
Hmm.
it's, it's worth its weight in
And
gold.
it doesn't need much to maintain. I mean, I'm training at home, not doing much. I'm not eating
Yeah,
much, but I'm still training close to failure, or train as much as I can with my 600 nanograms per deciliter testosterone. And
TRT, bro.
yeah, yeah, soon. Tomorrow I get the MRI results. They keep postponing it. Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Um, but once I get the MRI results, I'm back on the gear.
Well, you going hard?
No, 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 not hard. But I'm going back on cycle. I need to. I mean, it's not the same, And
Just what you're gonna do? Just like HRT, HRT plus.
yeah, HRT plus, yeah, 125 test plus primo, and that's a starting point. But it wouldn't surprise me, like depending on the results of the MRI. But if there was something wrong, they would have called me early,
If
right?
you, oh, you'll be. I'm sure.
It does like
I would put money on it that you're absolutely fine.
right. So the ultrasound, I did an ultrasound and an MRI, right? And the cardiologist didn't see a reason to do a CT scan. So I probably won't get my calcium score back. I can do it at a later point. But she said it was
Yeah.
like there's no reason for you to do that. We went through all the blood work. She's like, there's absolutely no reason for you to do a CT scan below 40 years old. So did the MRI instead. The ultrasound was great. No heart enlargement, no left ventricular hypertrophy, right? A trivial backflow. So I'll make a video about it when I get all the results. But it's all good so far. Liver health, 100%. Kidney health, 100%. all the organs are fine.
What's the total time frame been?
8 months.
Yeah, so that's pretty.
9 months.
It's pretty good to get everything right back to pretty much perfect. And
even fertility is 100% now. So
yeah, you're gonna go and freeze some.
Yeah, I already did.
Gonna go freeze some little baby makers.
Yeah, but I think that now that I learned so much about my own body, I think I can get the fertility back in 4 months if I go back off cycle. Right?
Yeah.
If I go on for a couple of years and then off and we're ready to have kids, I don't think it's an issue. Really.
What do you know? What was the fertility? What were your swimmers like before?
Well, I never checked my fertility before I went on. So I only checked it after my.
No, I mean when you were like deep into
23 million, something like this. And I've had one result with 0, but that was on trend, so that it's gonna be 0.
All
right. So okay. I had like when I was running testosterone only, I still hit like 23 million sperm, which is like at the bottom of right fertility. What is acceptable?
But they're still there. You're still
there. The motility is good. The morphology is good, right? It's all a little bit lower than where it is now. But now I'm like 150, 175 million per 1 milliliter, which is top of the reference range, with better morphology, better motility, and less defects. So it did improve, right? But according to the fertility specialist, I was still fertile on cycle. Would have taken me longer to get a baby, right? And maybe a tendency for a miscarriage, potentially, but we never had a baby on cycle. So
yeah,
and of course these fertility docs are just speculating based on the numbers, and they'll look at your semen analysis and like, okay, it's not the best, but you should be able to conceive. I've seen way worse people get healthy babies, you know. Yeah. Maybe try harder, and there's a risk that there might be a miscarriage. But right now, it's so good that I just froze it just in case.
Well, it's just good to know.
It's good to know, right? Yeah. So
that's something that I want to look into after October. Actually, after the last show of the year. That's something I want to focus on. That just so I've got some good healthy ones just to freeze. Because I'm in the same boat. We also don't want kids right now. We're not. It's not, the time is not right. But I wouldn't mind getting some healthy swimmers frozen, just to know that they're there in a sperm bank somewhere.
Right. But
that's something we'll focus on after October.
I think with a proper fertility protocol, you can get the fertility way back, like optimal fertility back way faster than what I did, because I was relying on my HPTA, right, on the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. But it's kind of like the missing link, because my LH and FSH really didn't go so high anymore. I think that's age, or because I was shut down for such a long time. But it's not the testicles, right? Because my fertility improved, but it just took long. So I think with a proper fertility protocol with ACG and HMG, you can get the fertility back in 4 months instead of 8 months. You just need to stimulate the testicles, you know, with the icing the testicles protocol and all the antioxidants.
Yeah.
And, right,
there was some guys talking about that in my group the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I've got just a video for you guys.
Well, it does work. And it's weird that I got so much blood work over the last couple of months, you know, of people that actually did it and was able to raise their testosterone concentrations. Right?
Yeah, well, it's such a hot topic all the time, isn't it? Everyone's trying to find the best secret supplement for natural testosterone boosting and things, and nothing fucking works. So, you know, to have
ice pack like and nuts.
Ice pack and what is it? What else is Derek big on? He's Turkesterone, isn't it, or something like that?
Oh, Turkesterone is an anabolic agent that doesn't shut down your HPTA, so that helps, right? When you're drug free at a unfortunately limited supply right now, but it's still in the making. So at one point, I think that's probably the worst anabolic that naturals can look at besides clenbuterol or growth hormone that don't shut down.
I think the only thing that's available in here, there's a guy called Mo in one of my groups that was trying to track it down. And the only supplement we could find with any kind of reasonable amount was an animal M stack had a bit of it.
Oh, really?
Apart from that, it's like impossible to find in China unless you buy that specific product.
Well, you're part of the team now, right? You're part of Gorilla Mind.
Well, yeah, now it's fine.
So when
they were all chuffed to bits when I posted the news in my group. They were all like, "Oh, fuck yeah!"
Yeah. So, well, you've earned it, man.
Cool.
I mean, you look good on stage, and you're doing well on social media, and so at one point the sponsorship agreement is in the cards. So welcome to the team.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
What's your discount code?
Pumped. Aaron. Easy. Capital letters AARON.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe I should change that. Maybe I should change mine to the nickname as well. Because I just changed my Instagram handle back to my old nickname.
It's way too long, your Instagram. Your Instagram handle's way too long.
I might just change it to just the nickname.
Just do the nickname. That's what I did. Vigorous Steve, easy.
My buddies used to call me the Hercules a long time ago.
Yeah, and, the Hercules.
I wasn't even big then, but now I'm a bit bigger enough to see the pictures. Then Rocco dropped me a message and called me Hercules, and I was like, I forgot about that name. Maybe I'll add that one back in there.
The Hercules. Done.
Hercules.
Yeah. We all need a little nickname, because the names are hard to remember. So
I guess until I can change it to IFBB Pro something.
Hopefully this year, but then you'll look like a fucking douche if you do Aaron Burke IFBB Pro in your fucking Instagram handle. Oh, I'm sure.
I'll put it in the bio at least.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I'm not gonna, I won't put it as my Instagram handle with everyone else.
Everybody's got all the men's physique guys.
If you start a keto diet, you've got to make sure your name starts with keto, right? Or vegan.
Yeah, Keto Steve. Carnivore Steve. No thanks.
No, I'll just stick to my one name. I might just keep it just my nickname, actually, because at least it's a pretty decent nickname.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think it'll definitely be this year, if not next year.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving in that direction, which is good.
Yeah, and otherwise we add another 10 kilos of stage weight next year, and
exactly.
Then,
I was just going to say the same thing. Another 20 pounds, and it's in the bank.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of doing the right shows, right time, and just keep doing shows until it's there.
Well, I think next year if the countries open up a little bit easier, you have more options, right? Because now everybody's stuck in their home country. Like there's supposed to be a pro show here in Thailand. That's not going to happen. Right, the borders are closed.
There's a few. All the Chinese pros here, they're all talking about that show. Everyone's waiting till they're all saying Thailand December, and I'm like,
I highly doubt it will happen, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the chances of that happening, guys, like don't get your hopes up. I would, if I were you guys, I would just stay in your off seasons until you can definitely travel because they're all looking pretty thick and big, and they're getting big. So I'm like, just keep fucking growing. Don't prep for shows that aren't going to happen. No,
especially with the borders that are closed. And here we're going into another lockdown. Today started. So it's I highly doubt there will be international travel or proper, right? Or unless you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, but you can do a show if you're quarantined for 2 weeks and then you're in the hotel room. It's just peaking with rubber bands and hotel food, you can't do that. No way. No,
I think what's his name? That Samson Dowder. He tried it, didn't he, in that Korea show?
Yeah.
And he ended up coming in second. But he said that was pretty shit. I wouldn't want to do that.
No. And unless you have awesome, if you have awesome genetics, you can make that work. But most people would just disintegrate if that happens for like 2 weeks.
Just go stir crazy as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think you're already crazy when you're 2 weeks out.
That's true. It's definitely true.
Yeah. So that's at least you don't have to drive then, because driving even at the end is scary as hell.
Yeah, the last week before I stopped working, so that was it was about 2 weeks out. Mm-hmm. Driving to and from work was getting dodgy. I was like,
well, maybe you just finally start driving like the locals then,
just smashing freaking coffees just to get home from work and stuff. But yeah, it was getting a little bit shaky at the end there, so I just decided to take an extra few days off work.
Yeah, you have to, man.
All right, that's enough. That's enough driving now. Let's just stay at home.
Yeah,
that was good. At least I had that option.
Mm.
It's nice to have the support from work. They don't watch anything on YouTube because they're in China, but shout out to those guys anyway. They've been very, very supportive, and that makes a big difference to everything.
No, it's very, very helpful if you got a good team, to understand what you're going through, because it's not easy, especially the last 2 weeks when you're trying to peak, and then there's a million things to do. Right, the shaving and the blah, fuck, you have to do a million things just to prep, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
that reminds me, actually, I need to shave again. You just reminded me. I need to get that done.
I can do another 2 hours of shaving tonight.
It's my favorite thing to do, trying to get into the right position to shave my ass. I'm actually pretty good at it now, though. I'm good at it now. I brought the Phillips One Blade. You know that one? It's like a face and body all in one shaver thing. And the actual blade on it is like a flat foil with some guides.
Okay.
And you never have to change the blade. It like never gets, like maybe once every 6 months or something like that. It's really good quality. And they just go everywhere, and you never get cut. You never get any little nicks and cuts or anything. It's very, very good.
Okay. Because I have a Mac 3 that I've been using since forever, but.
Well, just like a regular blade, like a normal razor blade.
Or you're talking about a clipper?
This is like a little, like a little kind of clipper.
I
don't know how to describe it. It's kind of a new thing. So search it up. Phillips One Blade. It's what everyone's using. I heard James Hollinshead was talking about it. And if that hairy bastard can shave with it, then it must work.
Right.
Because that guy's got full-blown gorilla back and gorilla shoulders.
Yeah, he's a grizzly for sure.
Yeah, he's a big old...
How come you UK guys all get so big? What's going on?
Do you know what? I was talking to someone about this the other day, and a lot of people said, why have UK guys always all got good calves? That was the first thing everyone noticed. UK guys have got calves. And I said, well, I made it up on the spot. I was quite proud of my little weird story that I made up. And I said, well, you ever seen Lord of the Rings, right? The Shire.
Yeah.
That's what England's like. It's just hills. We all walk up and down hills all day long, and carrying sheep and cows from farm to farm, and we're walking up and down hills all day long
without shoes. You got the same feet as the hobbits, right?
Yeah, so
it's like this big with a fuckload of hair and
just big hairy toes and big calves and shit quads.
I think they're improving a lot.
They're much improved. I can see now, now they're developed enough that I can see. Oh yeah, they're gonna look really good with the flow and shape of my body. Like at this stage, you would notice any weird. Like weird shape to the muscle or weird muscle bellies that you think these.
No, but
when legs, they're going to be big legs, but they're not going to look pretty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, my legs.
I think I'll. Well, I think I'm going to be somewhere in the middle there, where they look pretty enough that they're not ugly and they can still get really big. So I'm happy about that. Right. I always thought I would never have big quads, but.
The weird thing about my quads is that they start high and then they're pointy. When I was in Trin, it's literally like this, like a fucking triangle.
Like the cuts are just like.
No, it's just it sticks outside like a fucking triangle, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Kind of like Rami, but that's using side enhancement.
Legs, like made out of Lego.
Yeah, basically, yeah, pointy legs. It's weird.
Well, we can't all have nice. Who's got the best legs? Probably. Do you know whose legs I really like? Is Rafael Brandao.
Yeah.
That guy is just a perfect smooth
circle. Yeah.
Flow, loads of detail. Deep cuts all the way up into the hip. Oh, looks so good. I love it.
Yeah. It's only a select few though, unfortunately.
Yeah. But no, unfortunately, the British, we've got good calves. Flex Lewis, James Hollinshead, Luke Sando, he had pretty good calves as well. I don't know, maybe it's an English thing. Maybe it's just one of those, one of those things. And we seem to get, what did James call it? Caucasian dry.
Yeah.
Super pale white guys that get Caucasian dry. So
right.
At least I was happy with the level of conditioning that we got, at least in my upper body, that looked in the HD pictures. I was like, fuck yeah. Oh, I'm glad we achieved that.
It's so weird because in the HD pictures it really came through. And then some of the other pictures are like, ooh, a little smooth in the hamstrings, but then in the HD pictures it came through again. But you and me were not that photogenic. So it's so weird, like you look in the mirror and like, yes, and then you take a picture and you're like, no, what the hell? It sucks, dude. I take like my progress pictures still every week just to see how's it going, and I'm always disappointed. And then I walk to the mirror.
Cameras don't like us.
No,
at all.
I have no idea why. And it doesn't matter which camera I use. I use my, my mobile phone, and I use different mobile phones. I use iPhone 12. It's all, and when I was a little bit tanned, it didn't even improve.
The only time I look good is stood next to people. On stage. That's it. That's the only time where it's like, oh, okay. And certain poses as well, like from the side.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm looking pretty good today. Let's take some pictures and send them to Steve. And I take the pictures, I look at the pictures and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
How come I lost like 25?
Yeah, I lost like 25 pounds by the time I set the camera up.
It's so weird.
So it's really weird. I look stringy as fucking pictures, but like stood next to people, it's like, oh, okay, it's all right. So that was the main takeaway. I said that to the wife. I said I was so worried, not worried, but it's something that's always on my mind because I live in a city. There's no other big bodybuilders, and there's no other open bodybuilders in my city. Of freaking 10 million people, you would think there's at least a couple, right? There's nothing.
Yeah. Where's the other guy from?
Who?
The one who won? Yeah, the guy who won.
I don't know, actually. I think he's from a little bit further south. I think he's from the south somewhere. I don't know. Babe? Where's Lou Lee from? Oh, yeah. So he's from like the southern provinces, But yeah, he's actually a really nice guy. We had a funny conversation in the taxi after the show because we both shared a taxi back from the little award ceremony thing after the show. And he was like, "Yeah, shit. For the last 2 weeks, I've been looking at your videos and pictures on Douyin, on TikTok, Chinese TikTok." Yeah. And he's like, "Fuck, I don't want to compete against this guy. He's fucking huge." Shitting myself. And I was like, I've been doing exactly the same thing, looking at pictures of you, these freaking giant, great big legs, thinking I'm just going to look like a stick insect next to this guy. He's fucking huge.
Bodybuilder issues, mindfucks.
We all think the same thing, but, my main disadvantage with that mentally is that I literally never have the opportunity to stand next to anyone, even similar to my weight. So I really don't ever get a chance to see, apart from comparing with my old pictures, I never really get a chance to compare my progress or see how I'm looking next to someone. So all the way up until the show, I'm like, fuck, all I see is online pictures, social media pictures. I'm like, all these guys are huge, I'm going to be too small, I'm going to look stringy compared to them. And I'm like, have I grown at all since the first show? I look the same.
I remember when I sent you that glute shot of my glute shots. Does it look like this in real life? And you're like, no, nothing like that. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta call this guy.
This guy needs a phone call. I needed a phone call that day. Timed that just right because I almost fucking smashed a hole in my mirror. Like I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's a mind fuck, man. It's a giant mind fuck.
It's a giant mindfuck, but then after seeing the pictures on stage and the comparisons and everything like that, it gave me so much relief. I didn't at that point. I was like, I wouldn't have cared if I came in last, just to know that I'm big enough, size-wise and proportions-wise, to stand next to these guys and be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, thickness-wise in the upper body, you're number one for sure. We just have to work on the legs. Size-wise, this off season or this coming show, you probably won't match size wise, but we can get them shredded right? Just force it a little bit harder. And then next off season, we can blow them back out and improve. And then you should hold your own. The good thing is that most of the Chinese guys, they got big legs, but no proper separation. That's the issue with most of the Asian guys. They're big, but no deep separation. You had better separation than most of the guys on stage, right? And then killer arms to match, which of course everybody freaked out about your arms, I'm sure.
Yeah, they all freaked out. They were like, "What the fuck?" Especially forearms. They were like, "What the fuck are those things?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that no one really has forearms here, apart from people that have probably been like powerlifting for like their entire lives or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like, freaky forearms, not really a thing. So that was on the live stream. The commentary on the live stream, they were all talking about that. They were like, "What the fuck? Look at this guy's forearms." So that was pretty funny.
Your calves are up to par, with the Asians, maybe even a little bit more detailed.
My calves?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got the best calves in the country. No doubt. It's like, how many, we got here, a couple of billion people here. I would put money on it that I've got the best calves in the country.
You should do like some close-ups, do like an online contest to see who's got the best calves.
Maybe I'll set that up on a Chinese TikTok.
Why not?
But I'm yet to meet anyone here who's got better calves. But again, genetically gifted calves, years and years of playing rugby, I think that had a lot to do with it. My forearms, my dad always had like Popeye arms from when his entire life. So that's genetic. Good arms is genetics. Good calves are genetics. So they grow by looking at weights. I don't barely train them, and they just keep growing.
Just play into it. There's nothing wrong with the overly big calves. Dorian overly big calves and quads a little bit too small, so it compensates.
Big extent. I think big exaggerated certain muscle parts. If you've got a strong part, you can't have arms that are too big, right? Or calves that are too big. You're never going to get scored down for that.
No, so it's your freaky body part. Unfortunately, my freaky body part is in the back, so I can't really watch it. But my lats are insane.
Yeah, your lats, like you pop a front lat spread or a front relaxed, and it's pretty freaky.
All right, so you gotta play into your strengths, man. So grow them even more. I think for the next prep, we just get your legs shredded and your glutes and your hamstrings, and then once it's all in detail, then we improve your posing a little bit, and then we just keep grinding. It's gonna suck, but it's part of prep life.
Yeah, it's going to suck balls, but I think it will turn out. I think 6 shows in 1 year. It will be by the time we finish in October.
Yeah, because we got 2 more immediate ones coming, and then September.
We got
October.
one. Just done 2. Got one on Sunday, and then another one August 28th, then September 12th, and then October 28th is the pro qualifier, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Unless for whatever reason, throw one more in there if there's one close enough and I'm looking good.
Right.
But,
unless
unless
you get your pro cards and then you have to do a pro show, Korea Pro or something. It's in November.
I'll be able to travel, but if I can,
that
would be cool. I just saw that Chol he just did his first NPC. His own show, his own promotion, his own show. Chol,
oh, really? Okay.
Chol, who came over to Thailand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, check his Instagram out. They just finished his first major promotion show over there. It looked amazing. They did a great job. Those Koreans, they put on great shows though. And their production value is through the roof.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So good.
I'm sure you went to the Olympia last year also. So
yeah, he's got loads of backing there now. He was already the biggest guy in Korea. Now he's an Olympian as well, so he's superstar there now.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I would fucking cats. Get off. I would love to travel over there and go and do a show over there. If it's a doable thing, maybe we'll look at it. It would be a cool thing to do, to go pro and then do a pro debut right after would be pretty awesome.
Why not? And then you at least know how much more improvements you need to make,
But I don't want to get ahead of myself.
It's all right.
Because,
I mean,
you know,
you made great
at that pro
improvements over
show,
the course of 2 years. So
I'm already in as far as improvements made in size and condition and just overall improvements in general. Fuck off. It's already a winner. It's already a winner for the year. Everything from now is just bonus practice, bonus exposure.
Yeah.
Got the sponsorship deal with Derek and Gorilla Mind. So over the moon with that. That's a huge win for me. So everything between now and the end of the year is just more and more exposure and a chance for me to grow my presence online and get more and more respect here in the bodybuilding community here, which is very important here.
Yeah, because you got very popular.
There's no
right?
such thing
during this last prep, and especially after the contest. I mean, you're quite in demand now. I mean, a lot of people were asking you to compete in all the shows. Like, how many proposals did you get to compete?
I got like 7 invites to different shows, like the within 3 days of doing these 2 shows, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I came third. You know, but they're like, get that big fucking white guy to the show, do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But, you know, some of them are just not worth doing, the timing and stuff like that. And there's only so many shows you can do, right? So it's been great. It's been really good so far. It's nothing but positive vibes to keep me going forward.
But the next 2 shows, it's all inclusive. So they pay for your hotel, the traveling and the entry fee and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's a big deal already, you know?
You get all hooked up. So the only change actually will be from the normal routine is that tan I was talking about. So they can only use that Jan tanner. But from what I gather, based on what I've seen, it's very, very similar to what I used, that Korean stuff, that I self-applied Korean stuff. The end result looks very similar to like a top coat pro tan with a nice glaze.
Pretty much the same. If they have a tanning booth, then it's better to just spray you like 2 days and then apply a little bit of gloss.
Yeah, what they said they're going to do is they're going to do both base coat and top coat on show day. So I said, well, I'm going to do a pro tan base coat myself.
Yeah.
Then I'll go there a couple of hours early than I would have. Get a base coat, spray on base coat, then, you know, chill somewhere.
Right, because then you can absorb the fluid and you have a drier appearance.
Yeah, and then I'll get another base coat a couple of hours later, and then a top coat, you know, like an hour before actually going on stage. So it should be that we'll have enough stages to kind of look at the color and decide when to do the top coat and when to call it.
I did like your color though on the second day. I mean, it's just the Korean stuff that blurs definition. Yeah, it blurs definition.
Exactly the same stuff, but it was totally different lighting. So the lighting on the first show and the stage and the backdrop, they did a really good job of that. It looked cool. They were going for that. They replicated the picture from that Jay Cutler picture, the quad stomp.
Oh yeah,
that famous picture. Yeah, and they just had like a plain black backdrop with like Christmas lights hanging down. But only a few just to add something.
Right.
And the lights were from the back of the room. Hitting the stage from a distance, and a slightly downward angle. So the light was awesome, and everything was great. Maybe the lights were a little bit bright, but that's overall normal. Pretty good. But on the second day, it was a big, giant stage, lots of daylight from the front of this building, big giant daylight, opening windows, and that was, I would say, maybe like 60 feet, 60 or 60 feet, 70 feet from the stage, like a shitload of daylight, and then just downlighting. So it looked pretty good in the pictures, like in some of the pictures, but any areas like, you know, like the top of your lats and a front lat spread is all shadow. So there was, in some pictures, it didn't lose a little bit, and from where the judges are sitting, I reckon, you know, there's a little bit missing there from that.
Yeah, because they didn't have sufficient front lights. Yeah.
Yeah, and the color looks totally different.
You did look very hard though on the second day, but it's probably because we did some extra loading. So,
but overall, yeah, we looked way better on the second day. Yeah. I don't know if it was way better. It was just better.
I feel it was quite a bit better. It's probably all the shit food that you had. You know,
I think it was much, much better. Like, it was weird. Like, before I went on stage, I was like, okay, I'm a bit tighter and a bit harder here. I didn't realize how much until I saw pictures afterwards. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. That was
because you sent me some videos. I'm like, oh, shit. That's like muscle maturity of a guy that's been training for 20 years.
Yeah,
you know?
it was pretty cool. So it's nice to see those kinds of improvements from one day to another.
Yeah.
You know, to see, and it gives people an idea as well of just how much a body can change in 24 hours.
Right.
Well, in 12 hours.
Yeah, it was half a day. I mean, you stepped off stage and we looked at the pictures like, okay, go eat, you know, load up on some fries and a little bit of dirty food. And then we had a pretty big breakfast, right? So it's just good to know for the next time. We just incorporate that on your fat loading day.
Yeah.
And then
just says, what will it say on the plan? Just says all the waffles.
Yeah, all the waffles and all the burgers.
Just eat all the waffles and all the burgers that are available. And fine.
Yeah.
And then just take it.
And the French toast, you know, and the syrup. And then, not too much syrup. And just keep track of your blood glucose. And then, a little bit.
Drizzle of honey on the waffles. Little drizzle of honey, make them sweet. But it was, it worked out great. We kept track of everything. It worked out great. And very, very happy. So overall, like I said, it's a big, big winner for me. You know, obviously we're going for that gold this weekend. Let's get the gold. Who knows? I don't know who's going to show up. No idea who's showing up. No idea who's competing. Total potluck. Might be giants, might be twigs, might be good guys, fat guy. Who?
Yeah, because I mean, I looked at the other guys, the other competitors. They're, you know, they have a lot of room for improvement. Also, you know, so it depends on who shows up this weekend where you're going to play on. Unless there's some freak that comes out of nowhere.
You never know in China. There's just so many people. Some people that just like full hideaway. They're not really online. They'll just show up for shows. And there's some people, you know, that the big boy freaks where you're just like, you just pray they don't show up. But there's what you can guarantee they will all be at that October show.
Of course. So at least, yeah, of course.
It will give me an opportunity to stand next to all the best the country has to offer at my level. And then I'll see where I stand. And then we go into the off season with a good solid goal and a plan, and come back and crush them all the next year.
Exactly.
In a nice way. In a
nice way. Yeah,
it was good. Everyone's been really cool. Everyone's very welcoming. You know, there's always a lot of talk about, you know, bodybuilding in China, and China's like there's a lot of face and Guangxi and stuff like this, which like you have to build up a certain amount of respect before you get anywhere. Kind of like paying your dues at the Olympia. You know, you're never going to win the Olympia on your debut. You know, you got to show up and.
No, but it's very common in China and Asia. You have to, you know, work your connections and then get a little bit of exposure. But this last two shows was very good exposure for you. Like they were talking about you on the radio shows, and so it's. I'm sure you have
a good chance for me to earn my stripes in these federations. So that was the big takeaway. That was the big winner, and the pictures, because the pictures are cool as shit.
For sure. Yeah, so we got a couple more days to make improvements for the next show, and then 2 weeks later we got a show, and then we got a little bit more time for the September show.
Yeah,
and that's 4 weeks, right?
So what is it? What's the date today?
12.
So yeah, show day is the 18th. Then we've got
first of September,
20
of
days,
August, and then
you got
2 months.
You've got a good solid month. No, August will be the 28th. That'll be at the end of August. So we've got a good 5 and a half, 6 weeks between.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Show and the next one.
Yeah, drastic improvement.
And then it's only like 10 days between that show and the September one.
Yeah, a lot of Stairmaster for you.
Great, can't wait.
Yay.
I'm dreading it. I've never dabbled. It's one cardio machine I've always stayed away from for whatever reason. Like I've played around on a couple, do you know what I mean? Just to get a feel, and I'm like, yeah, no, fuck this. This is way too hard. Get me on a bike.
Yeah.
Just sit on a bike and pedal away and watch a video.
So the weird thing is that after like couple weeks on the Stairmaster, you're used to it, but you have to start until you fucking fall over, and then you do the elliptical, and then you fall over from that one, and then you do the treadmill. So maybe you'll just can do like 10, 15 minutes on the Stairmaster, but after a while you can do 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
You adapt quite fast, I had one because I had a Stairmaster at home, and at one point I could just do an hour.
An hour Stairmaster?
Yeah. You build up tolerance. Through? Yeah, you just keep grinding,
That's why you got good calves.
Yeah, no, I did it on my toes. No, crazy.
Actually, well, I take it back before when we said my calves can't get too big. I reckon they can.
So do the Stairmaster on your toes.
I think we should take it easy on the Stairmaster.
Yeah, because then it'll be like this, and every step they're like touching.
Just giant calves, like twice the size of my glutes, just looking all freaky.
Yeah, why not? Like Eric Fankhauser calves,
At least I'll have one freaky part.
Right. Cool. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll get used to it. After I'll just grind for it. Same as everything. Just keep grinding through it.
Right. We'll make it work. Yeah. So I think we'll leave it at that for this update. We'll do another update after the next couple of shows. Do a little bit more frequent muscle nomads to check in with how it's going with you, and then hopefully by the time I'll be on cycle also. Because for me, it's been
jacked up and taken up more of the screen again.
Yeah, not this anymore. This is fucking natty arms. Disgusting.
Yeah, but your natty lats make my fucking enhanced lats look.
It's shit. So weird, right?
They just pop out.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I wish my quads were a little bit more loyal. No, they.
Do you think that's what's the first thing to go? Did you notice what was the first thing to go?
Triceps and chest. Yeah,
really.
Legs stayed quite well because I was doing so much cardio. Right, I was doing a lot of elliptical. They stayed quite well, and but the shoulders. I mean, they're like fucking fell apart, and it's just no volumization. I really pose, and I do get a good pump during the workout, and I'm about 75% strength.
Yeah.
So that's pretty okay. I mean, I did chest this morning and still did 40 kilos. Normally
do you have any 50. Like after coming down to kind of natty levels and like losing a pretty substantial amount of muscle? Do you? Well, I say substantial.
No, it is substantial.
People, it's not a lot for you. For you, it is. Do you have any like new aspirations or goals as far as your physique is concerned? Now, planning to go back on and
I should stay a little bit more streamlined for just marketing purposes. Because I was
you want to.
Well, when you look at those old videos, I'm like fucking ballooned up.
So you don't have like a little thing in the back of your head where you're like, let's just get fucking massive.
Honestly, I would like to. That's the bodybuilder in me, but I know how much.
Just do it as like a lab rat thing.
Yeah.
Just go for like, do you know what? Let's just go. Let's hit 300 pounds just once.
No.
Just look like an absolute tank, and then come back down.
I'm 37, man. By the time I'm 300 pounds, I'm 40, and then it's just I'm turning myself into a heart patient. So
I guess I'll be the lab rat for you instead.
Yeah, I mean you're already halfway there. I probably have to start from scratch. So I'll just get as much out of the muscle memory as possible, and I'm just happy that all my organs are knock on wood that the MRI is good. But I think most of it is just good. And then I can do a cycle if I wanted to, but I'll just start low and see how much you can get out of it, and maybe run some experiments with peptides, and that's about it. I think I can make a pretty good physique with a low dose, and then maybe at one point when I want to get shredded again, I'll probably up the dose a little bit because the calories are so low. But I think the rebound is going to be, because I'm already growing now. It's weird. I'm already getting stronger. It's like my body is completely primed for it. Just like when I did my first cycle.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It's got the
really, my body is like, I'm going to start growing preemptively, I mean,
awesome.
using some of the GHK copper, and all my injuries are gone. So my shoulders feel perfect. My knees feel perfect. So my body is pretty ready to get back on the gain train,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess it was a good time as well to experience the shameless plug here, Gorilla Mind supplements while you are natty, just so you know really how good
what they do. Yeah, what they do.
they are and what you do without having that thing in the back of your mind, like, is this really working or is this just the primo?
No,
You
they
know what
were
I mean?
working because the previous cycle that I did was 250 test and 200 primo, right? It was, and
Yeah,
then Derek sent me the supplements, and I told Derek, I said, dude, it's like I'm running a gram of test.
yeah,
Right. So now I've been running it for this entire time, and I'm sure I would have been way worse or not as strong if I wasn't using the pre-workout and a little bit of the nootropics. So I'm sure they helped quite a lot. And I did that Turkesterone experiment that helped also, but supply is limited. So I only
yeah.
have like half a bottle left. And I'm saving that for my wife, she can get more out of it than I do. Because
Yeah.
I'd have to run way more, to get not as close to my previous best as a little bit of test. So I'd rather run
But
the
just
test.
having that steady sort of consistent supply of like just those extra sports performance supplements,
No, it helps a lot.
you know,
Yeah, it helps a lot.
helps a huge amount when you don't have the usual boys in the locker room. You know what I mean?
No, especially the nitric, because it's like the gorilla mode nitric, because you get great pumps. And I was,
Yeah, I
especially
can't wait for that. I love stim-free pre-workouts that are just like epic pumps,
right.
good sort of like mental energy, clarity, but just not, not itchy stims. I don't like it.
No, that's why I
So
like the nitric also.
although I do like one every now and then, I do like a scoop of something that just gives me a right.
Oh, you have to, right? When you're very tired. So I would usually do a scoop of nitric with 1 scoop of gorilla mode energy. And then, right, you get a little bit of extra caffeine and some canna and some extra stimulatory effects, and that's good for an evening workout. But I'm going to start training in the morning again. I got to get this game train going as soon as possible. So,
can't wait to see it. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing before we wrap it up. I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to know your opinion on it. I don't know if you watched the Puerto Rico Pro. Did you watch it?
Was there a show this weekend?
I think it was last weekend. Same weekend as me, I think. Yeah.
Oh, then I didn't watch it because I was helping you.
Too busy watching mine.
Yeah, I was watching yours.
I don't know whether you had seen anything on Instagram when any catch up stuff or highlights or anything from it.
I've
do yourself. Akeem won it. It was pretty easy win for Akeem. I'll give you a quick rundown. Hassan looked exactly the same as he always does. I don't know. Again, somewhere there in the top 3, I think he was. You know what? No, I'm not impressed.
No.
Shaban, right,
yeah.
Shaban, giant monster legs. I think he came in second.
Okay.
But I want you to take some time, if you can, and just look at the finals and stuff, and then go and look at Jamie. You know, Jamie the Giant.
Oh, Jamie Joel. Yeah. You look pretty okay.
And then send me a message saying robbed or not robbed. Guy came in 9th.
I think so. 9th. I saw some pictures before he was fucking peeled.
So much better than almost everyone else there. Yeah. Like, you could have argued him into the top 3 just based on conditioning and shape.
He's so tall, right? Maybe that held him back a little bit. Yeah.
But there was some pretty. I don't know.
Like,
it's one of those things where you look at some of the people and you're like, how did they after like top 5 or after top 3 or top 5? Do they just go whatever? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what happens, and that's why people just end up in outside of top 5? People end up in just weird places that don't make any sense.
Yeah, that I think they're tired or something. I don't know. Some of these pro shows are way too long.
Long day of judging, super long days, and they're just like, well, it's outside the prize money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that happens quite a bit, and the amateurs and the pros, and it's not all the shows are well run. Usually the United States shows are pretty well organized, and the UK shows, but then outside, like here in some of the IFB Elite or the WBPF, it's a mess. It's a freaking mess.
And the judges probably may have to travel for quite a long time. They show up on the day before show day.
Yeah, they're local judges, and they don't even know or some of the
Maybe.
international starts, or it happens quite a bit. And I mean,
But have a look at some of
it
the
happened to
pictures from
you
the lineup.
that first show. Oh, fourth.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Well, yeah, but I since then had a few messages about why.
Yeah, well, so
they said
that happens.
They said don't take it as you were last. You weren't last. Like
No.
even the main promoter organizer of that show said, "Nah, you should have been second." And and you could have been argued in at first if it wasn't for like Luli just having monster legs. But Luli, the guy who won, he was personally invited to that show by one of the head judges.
Yeah, so this is
there's
competing.
All that stuff.
It's not always.
Yeah, this is competing.
Not always realistic.
There's teams, and there's people that have been doing it a long time with way more.
Yeah.
Way more stripes than I have. So
seniority.
Sometimes
it's just like within any business, it's a lot of seniority.
Not an excuse. I'm not going to use it as an excuse or anything like that. I'm not too bothered because I got a lot of the feedback I got from it is what matters.
Yeah.
And there was no money, unless you made it to the overall of that show anyway. And only the first place made it to overall, and no one was going to beat the guy who won, just based on leg size alone. No one was going to beat him. But even if, and for whatever other reasons, but it is what it is. Earn your stripes, and it'll get better.
Right,
it's no big deal.
Like if there's a little bit of politics, you got to be phenomenal to beat.
Like a next level. Like okay.
Yeah, right.
But I still don't. I don't. If I had the quads, a couple extra inches on the quads.
Yeah, and shredded glutes. And shredded glutes, you would have been undeniable. But that's hard on your third show, man.
Yeah, third show, 2 years in. I can give myself a bit of a break and a pat on the back sometimes.
Right.
So do yourself a favor. Have a look on Instagram. Check out Jamie. Check out him in the comparisons and prejudge him.
We'll do.
And then go, what the fuck? How's he in ninth? He should have been easily top 3.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Peters is coaching all these guys, right? He's coaching another British guy. Fucking nasty peeled. Hard,
Yeah. Have you heard anything from him?
Just a couple nice messages. Yeah, a couple nice messages. Yeah. Super nice guy. Yeah. Very awesome. Cool guy. Yeah, I reached out. So I was apparently watching the channel, seeing how I was going through this period of slimming down, because he's going through that period.
He's going through it, yeah. I was thinking that's exactly why he's going through all the same mental things and the physical things that you were going through.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite there yet to make the final decision to now I'm really going to go for it. But I think at one point it will come. And it's inevitable for everybody, right? Yeah. At one point, we're all going to say, okay, now we got to take a step back. So
he'll feel better for it. I think he's making the right decision. For just health and longevity,
health and longevity, yeah. Because you can't be 300 pounds forever,
Push it like that.
Yeah, right. So I think it's also the the hard part is the training. When that goes to like 80%, like the physique can deteriorate, right? We all love the training aspect. So if the physique deteriorates, but you can still train, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
When the training goes down and you've been doing progressive overload for decades, and then you're at 80%, and then you're at 50%, that's tough, man. That's tough because honestly,
setting fire to logbooks.
Like I was honestly thinking about, what? I should just eat, and just keep my strength as high as possible, right? And just get obese fat. Because at least I'd be super strong. Yeah, but then you have to deal with that later, and all the blood pressure changes right. So you have to stay lean.
Unless you want to be a power lifter, no need for that.
Yeah, but that ship is
just look good. Just look good. Be healthy and look good.
I think so. I think that's my unique selling point.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what the comment section says, right? So
yeah.
So we'll
play right.
that. Yeah. We'll leave it at that,
buddy. Well, to wrap it up, we're good. We've got some good results. Healthy blood work is all good. We're all set, ready to rock and roll. Show day Sunday. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Updates after the show.
For sure. Good luck. I'll talk to you.
And it will be next Monday, I guess.
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure we can schedule another one. Yeah.
I'll be driving back Monday morning, so we can probably do another one similar time next Monday.
Cool. I'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Peace out. Oh,
Muscle Nomads.
Muscle Nomads, we're back with a vengeance. Gorilla Mind. Discount code Vigorous. Discount code Aaron. Go and spend a shitload of money.
Right. Exactly. So Aaron can buy us more growth hormone.
Yeah, that's not getting any bloody cheaper.
No, that's for sure. All right, man. I'll see you next week. Take care.
Loving all the games.
Ciao.